All right, it looks like we have some people coming in. Hello, everyone. Namaste. I'm Carissa Blackwood from the Whispering Wilds, and I'm here today with Ivonne Rivas of the Indigo Mermaid TV.
Namaste.
Namaste, Ivonne. Today we are here to talk a little bit about yoga and tarot. If you have any questions throughout this talk, please put them in the chat and we'll get to them at the end. And so let's get started. Ivonne, can you please tell us a little bit about your background?
So I am a yoga instructor. My background is in restorative yoga, and right now I'm currently getting specialized. I'm getting certified in kids yoga, especially with working with kids and using dance and yoga. Particularly, my program is using yoga to help kids with their motor skills and be able to, work on through their developmental skills through yoga. And I might go back to doing restorative yoga later on this year and do both restorative and kids yoga at the same time, but that's still undecided. I do have a YouTube channel, which is where we're live streaming this from, the Indigo Mermaid TV, so don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I have about 18,000 subscribers, a little bit over 18,000 subscribers. And I do personal readings privately, as well as when I do on occasion a live stream and I answer questions for the audience. So that's what I do.
Wonderful, thank you. It's exciting to hear that your yoga practice might be picking up again more later this
restorative
year.
Yoga.
Yeah, restorative yoga, yeah. And I like the idea of teaching yoga to little kids because I think that would be a great practice for them.
Yeah, and honestly, I wish they had that when I was a kid, using that as a motor skill kind of thing. Like, yeah. I can only imagine how much fun this will be.
So, yeah, that's great. I love that. So, Ivonne, thank you for letting me be a sub-host on this wonderful Saturday afternoon. Thank you to everyone who's joining us on this afternoon. It's fun to be on the Indigo Mermaid TV interviewing you about yoga and tarot. So let's get started.
All right, let's get started. I'm excited.
Cool. So to begin, let's first start with, could you tell us a little bit about what is yoga and how would you define it?
Well, yoga, if you want the technical definition to what is yoga, yoga is the cessation of the changing modes of Shita consciousness. I am actually certified in Hatha yoga and soon to be certified with the kids yoga because it's a different certification. It is a direct Sanskrit translation that means yoke or to yoke, which is about a union. If I can use an example with that, like when it comes to baking a cake, what actually puts all the ingredients together? The yolk. We mix the yolk, the egg, with all of the ingredients, and that serves as a purpose to bring everything together. And that's what yoga is to bring everything together.
That's great. I like the idea of yoga being a practice where you are practicing mindfulness, because I think for myself and for a lot of people, we come to yoga for the exercise and for the physical movement. But to think of it being a practice of mindfulness is another way that we can connect to our intuition. So yeah, so before we talk about tarot, I want to know little bit about what you think, because personally, I think that yoga and tarot are these lifelong practices that have the potential to support one another. And what do you think about that?
Well, tarot, I feel like tarot is a 78 playing card deck, if we can put it in simple terms. It is widely used for divination and cartomancy. You do that by posing a question of cards, but I mean, if you look at tarot now in the yoga community, you see people doing it in different ways. And when it comes to how they overlap or how they can basically go hand in hand, which I think that was basically your question.
Yeah.
So I feel like, I mean, again, when we think of the point of yoga, the point is to calm the mind, right? It's to get ourselves free from being the slaves of our own mind and to cultivate stillness. Many people think that tarot has little in common with yoga when it's actually the opposite. People think that tarot is just for divinatory reasons, or they're just divinatory cards, but actually tarot is the guardian of lost wisdom, the secret knowledge of manifestation and personal empowerment, much like yoga. It's only that, I mean, if you, again, going back to that goal of these two practices to wake up, especially if we look at the major arcana with the 22 cards,
Mhm.
that, you know, that's where we see a glimpse of other people's lives through it, where, you know, with yoga we have, you know, it's more of an experience, it's more of a, you know, a template. I'm sorry, it's more of an experience, where tarot is more of a template of one's journey through ego, and I mean through ego to enlightenment.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, I think that that was a great simplified explanation of, first of all, what is tarot, a tool for divination using cards. And then I like how you explained how tarot and yoga do complement each other through this inner journey that we go on when we read tarot, and how that can be translated to what we do on the yoga mat.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea that the physical poses that we do in yoga can also symbolize the inner work that we're doing in tarot. And that makes me think of what the last thing that you said, which was about the fool's journey in tarot.
Mm-hmm.
So could you explain to us briefly what is the fool's journey? And I know it's part of the major arcana, but what is it?
So, like you said, it is part of the, which is the story of the major arcana. The Fool's Journey is the story that we see illustrated in the major arcana. So, you know, tarot is a book. So, and again, it's a template, it's an example of someone's journey to enlightenment, you know, through ego. So when we think of the fool's journey, when we start with the fool, for instance, it is the number 0 in the major arcana, and it talks about how when we think of a fool, we think of someone who's foolish, we think of someone who's naive and ignorant. But I mean, when we go through experience and we go through life, even us as adults, we go through life and experience, and we look at babies, you know, we were just like, wow, you guys are just so lucky. You know, I wish I could be happy like that again. I wish I,
Yeah.
maybe that's where we get ignorance is bliss, right? So that's basically like the fool's journey. You know, it's basically a story through one's struggles and stuff like that, and the things that we go through. And they can be like stations. Some of us could be going through that devil moment right before we go through that empress moment, you know? So it doesn't, so it's basically like a vignette, like each card of the major arcana is like a vignette, and the whole thing, it just happens to sum up someone's lifetime through ego and reaching enlightenment.
Yeah, I love that. That's like the beauty of tarot. And I think that what you said about going through a journey and through like a cycle of one's life can be experienced on the yoga mat as we go through our yoga sequence and the different emotions and feelings that come up. And it seems like there's some relationship between those experiences in tarot that and the experiences that we have on the yoga mat.
Mm-hmm.
So if we were to focus on just the Rider-Waite deck alone, since that is the standardized tarot deck, do you think that there are illustrations that resemble some yoga poses?
Well, the one that comes to mind right away, obviously, is the moon card, which could be resonant with the crescent moon pose. Now, I have a picture of crescent moon pose, if I can pick that up really quickly. And do you happen to have a tarot deck right close to you?
Yes.
Can you pull out the moon card for me so that people can see it? And I'm going to show people how crescent moon looks like. It's basically where you stand on one leg and you kind of just have your body kind of go perpendicular with those legs. right? And when we look at the moon card, it is related to the sign of Cancer because it's ruled by the moon, and crescent moon opens up the chest. Now, the sign of Cancer, just like all the other signs of the zodiac, rule a body part, and the sign of Cancer rules the chest because it is a symbol of nurture. It is a symbol of, and if we think about it, you know, if we can think of all of our Cancer friends or Cancer females, they're, you know, they're the ones that, you know, got the baby fever. So, you know, it's hard to find a Cancer woman out there who does not want a family and who does not want to start a family or does not want to be a mother. And for instance, another example, if I can give you another example, would be the Hanged Man with, you know, the shoulder stand. Now, I have a picture of shoulder stand. So
And
this is what it looks like when we look at shoulder stand. And there you go. We got the Hanged Man right there on Carissa's screen. So when we think of shoulder stand and the Hanged Man, the Hanged Man can sometimes be about thinking before we say or do things, right? Because, you know, tarot cards can mean different things. Just like how the shoulder stand can be beneficial to our throat chakra, particularly our thyroid gland. And it's beneficial with the thyroid gland because it stimulates it. It helps stimulate it. So obviously with the Hanged Man, thinking before we say something, maybe we need to stimulate our throat chakra before we actually use it, and use it in a beneficial way.
Wow, that was really insightful. And you made a lot of connections between the symbolism in tarot and the poses in yoga. And I especially like the seeing that connection, making that own connection for myself with the moon card, that you are in that crescent moon pose, opening up the chest, opening up your heart. And I like that idea. And then with the Hanged Man, like, and the image of him and his head being illuminated and thinking before we act, like, that definitely resonates. And I also want to say, I thought it was really beautiful the way that your experience with astrology really showed with your explanation of how tarot and yoga are ways that we heal the body, and astrology is another way that we can read into our lives and understand what our body is asking for. That was really cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I hope anyone who's watching or who will be watching this later can do the same thing on their own with the rest of the major arcana or for the rest of the tarot deck, because it's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's like a puzzle, right?
Yeah, it is. It's
cool. And so do you think that we're looking at the like a deck that's similar to the Rider-Waite tarot deck? Do you think that it was intentional that some of these cards look like yoga poses, or coincidence?
I feel like it could be intentional, because when we look at the history of Rider-Waite and when he was trying to put together the Rider-Waite deck, he hired Pamela Coleman Smith to do his illustrations, to do his artwork. And even though she is an occultist and she, you know, she's an artist herself, she basically did what Rider-Waite wanted in his tarot deck. So whatever he wanted, whatever symbolism he wanted, she basically just followed his orders. Whereas in contrast to Aleister Crowley in the Thoth Tarot, when he hired, I don't remember her name, this artist to illustrate his deck, he asked her to take classes and to learn about mysticism and the hermetics and, you know, about the metaphysics as well. So yeah, if you asked for my personal opinion, I do feel like it was intentional.
Okay, that's really interesting to think about, that in the creation of the deck that the author probably had some kind of connection to yoga and put that into the illustrations. So that's pretty cool. All right, so why would someone want to bring yoga and tarot together? Do you think that there are any benefits to doing this?
Yeah, I definitely do think that we all should incorporate both practices together. They're both lifelong practices. And again, you know, yoga, we're supposed to create an experience through yoga and while we're doing yoga, and also connect it with our, you know, wanting to intuitively connect with others and connect and have more of a community with tarot.
That's wonderful. I definitely agree. I would encourage all of the viewers, anyone watching this video, to dive into tarot and yoga as things that can complement each other. And let us know your thoughts. You can comment on this video. Let us know what you're thinking, and give us your insight as well. So,
All right.
yeah, so this has been such a fun and thoughtful discussion. I hope that you viewers feel like this stream has brought you some enlightenment. And before we go, I want to inform all of you that Ivonne and I are currently discussing a part 2 for this video, where Ivonne is going to lead us through a yoga sequence that integrates tarot with the yoga poses. And we want to do that once COVID restrictions have lifted. So that will be coming in the future.
I'm excited for that, actually. I
Isn't
can
that
do
cool?
that. I've been wanting to put that on my channel, like, so bad.
Yeah,
So,
it's going to be really fun. So
yeah, I can't wait. Totally. Can't wait until all this COVID stuff is like over. We're all vaccinated. Get vaccinated, guys.
Stay healthy. So yeah, so thank you for joining us, and thank you, Ivonne, for sharing your insight, for having me sub-host on your channel.
Definitely. It was a great experience. We should do this again.
Yes, we should definitely do it again. So once again, I'm Carissa Blackwood with the Whispering Wilds YouTube channel that's about paganism, witchcraft, and exploring earth-based spirituality.
Or you can come and subscribe to my channel, the Indigo Mermaid TV, and you guys can come and see me do some tarot readings and obviously do some unboxing and reviews and some live streams.
Yeah, wonderful. So thank you, Ivonne. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.
And namaste to everyone here, and have a good rest of your weekend. All right, bye.